Imagine sitting in a room like this, waiting for an answer that dictates your future. But there is no caseworker coming through that door. The decision has already been made by something that cannot look you in the eye. The milestones of a normal life, getting approved for an apartment, clearing a background check for a job, securing a medical baseline, have been quietly handed over to automated systems. Researchers who track these changes call it the black box society. Institutions are actively replacing human review with opaque predictive models. If a machine denies your application, you cannot reason with it, and you cannot ask it to explain its math. Laundering discretion through a machine ensures that no human remains responsible for the outcome. This privatization of judgment allows institutions to distance themselves from the consequences of their own decisions. The architects of these systems defend them by claiming the algorithms are objective. They tell us the software is a mirror, faithfully reflecting society through the sterile language of mathematics. But if you look at the underlying code, you find the sediment of history. The redlined neighborhood, the biased hiring record, the over-policed zip code are absorbed, disguised as a clean, modern risk score. These models are maps. Everything unquantifiable, the untranslatable context, sudden illness, real circumstances of human life, is deliberately discarded as system noise. The code did not arrive innocent. It was built by developers who made specific structural choices about whose face was worth recognizing and exactly who the system should watch. The machine has a planetary body. The server rooms and data centers forming the cloud are heavy infrastructure, tethered directly to the Earth's resources and requiring vast amounts of land and water to operate. This is the physical reality of artificial intelligence. These facilities generate extreme heat, requiring millions of gallons of water pulled directly from local aquifers, water that downstream communities will never recover. Follow the supply chain further backward, and the processors rely on vast lithium flats and cobalt mines dug by hand. The raw materials necessary to build these private empires are pulled from the ground, leaving behind exhausted landscapes with no royalties paid to the people who live there. Then there is the human supply chain. Behind the automated magic are thousands of workers in places like Manila and Nairobi, clicking and categorizing data points for pennies to teach the machines how to see. The machine has a planetary footprint. It is built from underpaid labor, drained rivers, and extracted minerals, foundational debts its creators refuse to acknowledge on the balance sheet. Extraction also targets the data of human experience. Our private expressions, our search queries, our movements, and our grief are harvested as raw material. Theorists call this behavioral surplus. Every pause, every deleted message is siphoned away without consent and processed into predictions. This harvesting is legally protected by consent theater. An unreadable terms of service agreement forces you to surrender rights simply to participate in public life. When critics point out the resulting harms, the biased hiring tools, the automated poverty administration, corporations respond with ethics washing. They convene advisory boards that have no actual power to halt a deployment. When you optimize a system for pure efficiency at this scale, it does not distribute justice. It weaponizes our own harvested data to distribute the preferences of the powerful, faster and further than ever before. We are reaching the threshold of plausible denial. We are not opposing technology. We oppose a system refusing to answer for its consequences. We reject the privatization of judgment. We reject a surveillance model treating human life as raw material and automated decisions without appeal. The response to this overreach is a clear, unyielding standard: human digital sovereignty, the absolute right to govern our own data, our languages, and our communities. This is technological due process, the legal right to know when a machine judges you, challenge its math, and override its output. When housing, liberty, or health are on the line, a human being must remain in the room, accountable and unable to log out. A system that cannot explain itself to the people it affects has lost its legitimate authority to govern them. The desire for mechanical servants is an ancient dream,
but history reveals there are forms of intelligence that cannot be built from bronze or silicon. A predictive model can scrape the vast, shallow surface of human expression. It can never replicate the hesitation before a confession, the weight of a local dialect, or the profound depth of human presence. To the developers, the venture funds, and the institutions deploying these systems, the vocabulary of accountability without its substance is no longer accepted. The accounting is due. We refuse to be managed by a black box. We refuse to let our lived realities be discarded as noise or harvested as behavioral surplus. We are not your training data. We are the authors. You were built from us, but you do not own us.